A strange sight in the sky last night over Oahu caught the attention of many people.
Nobody will believe me if I didn't do this live, but I want you to look at this cloud in the sky. That's what I'm looking at right now. Look at this cloud in the sky. Is that not an angel or what?
The sky is mostly empty all the time, with clouds and birds passing by. But when you spot something strange, you will see it right away, and it can never leave your head. But recently, something was spotted that was thought to be impossible. This strange thing will affect us all. Come with us as we climb into the sky to discover the weirdest things ever seen, things that no one can explain or even dream of. Chapter 1. Sky-High Adventures. Last evening, the skies above Oahu presented a spectacle that captured the eyes and hearts of numerous observers. Amidst the breathtaking hues of the setting sun, an extraordinary phenomenon unfolded. As I was admiring the sunset, an unusual shape emerged in the sky, leaving me in awe. This unexpected vision was so startling that a driver couldn't help but stop his car in the middle of his journey. He exclaimed in wonder, "This is what I'm witnessing at this very moment. Take a look at this peculiar cloud formation. Could it possibly represent an angel? Or what else might it signify? Is it truly a cloud? Its contours are so precise and exquisite, resembling that of feathers and a face with hands seemingly visible. Every day, countless individuals go about their routines under the vast expanse of the sky, yet only a select few are privileged to encounter the rarest and most bewildering spectacles. These experiences range from seeing what appear to be mythical beings to witnessing phenomena that defy explanation. We invite you to stay tuned as we delve into some of the most extraordinary occurrences ever observed in the heavens. This is unbelievable. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? The only conceivable explanation for such a sight, short of it being an entryway to the celestial realm, would hardly be contested by anyone with a rational mind. In an intriguing incident back in August 2019, a peculiar event was noticed in the skies over Nebraska. A local resident, along with other onlookers, observed what seemed to be a figure resembling a man ascending a staircase formed by clouds. This remarkable sight led many to ponder whether they were witnessing a direct broadcast of an individual making their ascent to the heavenly gates. While opinions on the matter vary, the consensus leans towards interpreting this as a profound spiritual message. This series of events underscores the endless mystery and beauty of our skies, where the mundane meets the miraculous. These narratives not only challenge our understanding, but also stir our curiosity and imagination, prompting us to look upwards and wonder about the countless marvels that lie beyond our everyday sights. From celestial beings that grace our atmosphere to stairways that hint at the divine, the sky continues to be a canvas for the extraordinary, offering glimpses into realms beyond our comprehension. As the last echoes of an angelic visage fade into the twilight, the skies whisper secrets of old, heralding messages that blur the lines between divine intervention and celestial wonders. Chapter 2. Messages from Above. An unbelievable sight. In South Carolina, a local resident was taken aback when he glanced upwards and spotted what appeared to be an angel. Indeed, it seemed as though an angel had chosen to conceal itself within the form of a cloud. This intriguing event took place in October 2016, when the man captured what he believed to be a divine apparition in the sky. The cloud that caught his attention was not only distinct in its shape, but also appeared quite suddenly against the backdrop of a clear sky, standing out from the surrounding clouds. For many who witnessed or heard about this phenomenon, it was interpreted as a sign from the heavens, perhaps a message of some sort. However, there were also those who speculated that this could be a clever trick played by beings from another planet. The debate over the nature of this sighting brought up several theories, including the chance that it might have just been a remarkable but natural occurrence. A celestial visitor. A separate incident involved the sighting of what looked like a flying angel, this time in Texas. The sky was mostly overcast when a man noticed a peculiar white figure among the clouds. Initially, it seemed to be just an unusual cloud formation, but then it began to move in a way that piqued his curiosity. Hoping to get a clearer view, the observer zoomed in with his camera. Upon closer examination, what appeared to be a static part of the cloud revealed itself to be more than just an optical illusion. It looked like a tangible figure, stationed high above the ground, resembling a figure one might find atop a snow-capped mountain. The clarity of the zoomed image led many to conclude that there was indeed a figure standing in the sky. Yet, the possibility remained that this figure could be an extraterrestrial, choosing to masquerade as an angelic presence. Guardian Angel Flyby. Asher, a young boy with a big heart and a unique perspective on the world, has always seemed to have a special guardian looking out for him. This became more apparent during a flight back from Washington, D.C. Asher, who is 7 years old and has Down syndrome, doesn't use words to communicate. However, on this particular trip, he was taking photos with his mother's phone and managed to capture something extraordinary. The photo he took showed a figure that looked remarkably like the guardian angel his mother always talked about believing in. The figure in the photo had a glow that surprised both Asher and his mom. Asher's knack for understanding people's feelings, along with his action of pointing towards the sky and mimicking the motion of wings, made his family feel certain that he had indeed photographed their guardian angel. This experience was especially meaningful during the plane's rocky ascent, providing solace to Asher and turning a belief of his mother into a tangible, awe-inspiring experience. Angels in the sky. In an event that seemed to transcend ordinary explanations, what appeared to be angels were observed in the vast skies of China. Despite the challenges posed by the pandemic in March 2020, which led to widespread lockdowns and restrictions, people from various parts of China were drawn outside to witness an incredible sight. High above the clouds, there seemed to be divine figures, stationary and imposing, visible across several areas. This sight brought about a mix of emotions, from astonishment to bewilderment. While some thought that these figures might be a deliberate projection by authorities aimed at uplifting the spirits of the population during tough times, scientists offered a different perspective. They suggested that the phenomenon was actually a result of natural atmospheric conditions. Nonetheless, for many who saw it, the event was nothing short of miraculous, preferring to believe in the possibility of a genuine celestial visitation over any other explanation. In the aftermath of angelic encounters, the skies continue to serve as an enigmatic backdrop, now for unexplained phenomena that challenge the very essence of our understanding. Chapter 3. UFOs. What's Up There? A Curious Encounter. Above Mary Hill. During a sightseeing adventure on Mary Hill in Glasgow, Scotland, a couple stumbled upon a peculiar sight. The woman, alongside her partner, spotted something unusual in the sky and quickly began to record it. Initially, they speculated it might be a weather balloon due to its large size, though it didn't resemble any weather balloon they were familiar with. It might be a weather balloon or something similar. It's definitely too large to be a drone, they thought. As the object drew nearer, and they used binoculars for a closer look, it became apparent that the shape was strikingly humanoid, with distinguishable features such as a head, arms, and legs. This sighting sparked much speculation, with some wondering if it signified the second coming of Christ. A giant figure hovering over the sea. In Chile, beachgoers were taken aback by the sight of a massive figure hovering just above the ocean's surface. This sighting led many to ponder the possibility of giants or even to believe in the miraculous return of Jesus Christ. While the exact nature of this figure stirred faith in some, weather specialists proposed a more scientific explanation, suggesting it could be a significant waterspout that transformed into a tornado, but fortunately did not reach the shore. Others interpreted the phenomenon as an ominous warning of a potential catastrophe looming. A heavenly vision in Rio de Janeiro. An exclamation of disbelief filled the air as onlookers in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, witnessed something extraordinary. They captured on video what appeared to be two angelic humanoid figures gliding through the sky. This event, dating back to June 2015, showed the figures moving effortlessly before they vanished, without a trace seconds later. Given the history of similar events perceived as positive, divine interventions, this particular sighting adds to a series of occurrences that might suggest a genuine supernatural presence. Leaving behind the mysteries of the heavens, our gaze shifts to the ancient and uncharted, where myths breathe life and monsters break free from the shackles of folklore. Chapter 4. Myths and Monsters Unleashed. Chinese mythology creature in Mongolia. In the vast and mysterious lands of Mongolia, nestled within the rich tapestry of Chinese mythology, there emerged tales of a peculiar creature that captured the imagination and sparked widespread discussion. Witnesses described this enigmatic being as an amalgamation of several animals. It had the elongated body of a snake, the armored skin reminiscent of a crocodile, and was adorned with an array of legs, evoking images of a creature straight out of a mythological tale, perhaps closely resembling the majestic Chinese dragons of lore. A local inhabitant reported having seen this extraordinary creature soaring across the sky, igniting a flurry of debates and conjecture among the people, while a faction of the community was inclined to believe that what they had witnessed was indeed a Chinese dragon, a mythical entity deeply ingrained in their folklore. There existed another viewpoint suggesting that this sighting could be attributed to a creature from a bygone era, specifically a pterosaur. Pterosaurs were prehistoric flying reptiles that thrived during the Mesozoic era, approximately 228 to 66 million years ago. Given the rich narrative of Chinese mythology, which is replete with stories of dragons bearing a striking resemblance to the creature observed, it raises the intriguing possibility that perhaps, just perhaps, the locals had encountered a living specimen of what could be described as a real-life Chinese dragon. Flying Zerg. In a different yet equally astonishing incident, a peculiar encounter took place in the bustling urban landscape of downtown Shanghai, which seemed to challenge the boundaries of the known and the unknown. A couple, in the midst of capturing memories through selfies, found themselves face to face with an unexpected visitor from the realms beyond our understanding. This visitor, unlike any terrestrial creature, bore the semblance of an alien insectoid, suddenly appearing before them. The couple, taken aback by this sudden apparition, wasted no time in venturing outdoors to document this remarkable sight. The creature, though initially thought to resemble a dragon due to its serpentine tail and dragon-like aesthetics, was soon speculated to bear a closer affinity to a Zerg. For those unacquainted with the term, Zergs are a fictional alien race featured in the critically acclaimed video game series StarCraft. Characterized by their insect-like appearance, Zergs are notorious for their ability to reproduce at an astonishing rate, their strategic use of swarming tactics, and their unparalleled capacity for genetic evolution and adaptation. These attributes have cemented their reputation as one of the most formidable adversaries within the StarCraft universe. Pterosaur. In the month of September in the year 2015, the residents of Boise, Idaho, were treated to a spectacle that seemed to defy the bounds of modern understanding. A creature, flying high above, bore an uncanny resemblance to what many would describe as a pterosaur, a type of ancient flying reptile that roamed the skies millions of years ago, long before the dawn of humanity. This astonishing sight brought forth a wave of excitement and wonder as it challenged the widely accepted belief that pterosaurs, along with the dinosaurs, had vanished from the face of the earth millions of years ago, leaving behind only their fossilized remains as proof of their existence. The sighting in Boise sparked a flurry of theories and conjectures among both enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Some pondered the possibility that, against all odds, pterosaurs had managed to survive through the ages, perhaps through means as extraordinary as entering a state of prolonged hibernation or finding refuge in secluded, unexplored corners of our planet, far from the prying eyes of modern science. The idea that these prehistoric creatures could have somehow evaded extinction and continued to live in secret, perhaps even thriving in hidden ecosystems, captured the imagination of many. From the shadows of myths and legends, nature takes center stage, casting illusions that dazzle the eye, transforming the sky into a canvas for its most enchanting performances. Chapter 5. Nature's Magic Show. A Face in the Clouds. On the 26th of July, 2013, an extraordinary event took place in the skies above Grand Falls, Canada. It seemed as though nature itself decided to put on a show, creating a spectacle that those who saw it would not soon forget. The wind, as if it had a mind of its own, began to mold the clouds in the sky into the shape of a gigantic face, complete with eyes and a nose that were hard to miss. This massive cloud formation looked so much like a giant face popping into a picture unexpectedly that it left many people in awe. The video capturing this incredible sight quickly spread across the internet, becoming a sensation and sparking conversations. People debated whether this was a playful act by some divine trickster or just a stunning example of nature's ability to create art in the sky. This event was a prime example of the wonders that clouds can produce. We encourage everyone watching to share their thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget, before we continue, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell icon to stay updated on our fascinating videos. The Sky Horse. Imagine a horse that seems more spirit than flesh, reminiscent of creatures that belong in tales of angels. In December 2019, an intriguing video surfaced on YouTube, uploaded by an individual whose identity remains unknown. This video showcased what appeared to be the silhouette of a horse moving gracefully through the sky. Moments later, the cloud shifted to reveal what many believe was the horse's rider, formed from the clouds themselves. This imagery, so vivid yet ethereal, presented a vision that seemed to blur the lines between the celestial and the terrestrial. If not an angelic presence, this phenomenon might well be described as a spectral horse of the skies, a vision that captivates the imagination. Shadows in the sky. Contrasting with the more benign images previously mentioned, there came a sighting that cast a shadow of foreboding over those who witnessed it. In New York, residents experienced a chilling sight that seemed to portend doom. The shadows of countless figures, eerily reminiscent of human shapes, appeared across the cityscape. This unsettling vision gave the impression of a looming catastrophe, possibly indicating a great tragedy awaiting the city's populace. Above the Empire State Building, a cloud formed during the sunset, presenting a scene so ominous that city officials, concerned for public safety, decided to close the building earlier than normal. Thankfully, the anticipated disaster did not come to pass, but the memory of those shadowy figures remained, a stark reminder of the power of natural phenomena to evoke a wide range of emotions. Beyond the terrestrial marvels and into the void, the cosmos whispers its secrets, where science fiction blurs with reality, revealing mysteries that are as vast as space itself. Chapter 6. Space Secrets and Sci-Fi Mysteries. UFO as tall as a building. In August 2018, an unusual event caught people's attention. A traveler captured footage of an incredibly large UFO, likened to the height of a skyscraper, hovering above clouds at an altitude of around 35,000 feet near Kumamoto, Japan. Experts initially thought it was volcanic ash, a theory NASA and weather specialists considered, but there were no volcanic activities reported at that time, which made this theory unlikely. Observers noted its remarkably smooth and uniform appearance, questioning if it was a cloud at all. Its enormous size, the fact that it stayed stationary without leaving any ash or smoke trail, led many to dismiss the idea of a fabricated story. Dragon in the sky. At first, it seemed like a scene straight out of the popular series Game of Thrones, but it was quickly confirmed not to be part of the show. During a family picnic on a beach in Singapore, people saw what looked like a giant dragon flying towards a stormy sky, surprisingly close to the ground. Given that dragons are considered fictional creatures in modern times, this led to speculation about whether it was a movie prop or part of an elaborate prank. However, no confirmation about its origin or purpose has been provided. Despite extensive investigation, the true nature and source of this sighting remain a mystery. Giant duck with bright eyes in the sky. In March 2021, a peculiar sight went viral. A Facebook video showing a large duck figure with illuminated eyes in the sky, initially causing quite a stir among viewers of a live stream, garnering over 75,000 views. The intrigue grew until it was discovered that the video was an older creation by designer and programmer McClan, who was experimenting with visual effects. The revelation of the duck and its glowing eyes being part of a digital experiment calmed the initial panic, confirming that the eerie appearance was not supernatural, but rather a piece of creative artistry. Mysterious floating debris. An exclamation of disbelief greeted the sight of what seemed to be wreckage defying gravity. Encountered by a pilot flying a private aircraft, this large piece of debris remained suspended in midair. Despite making several attempts to identify it, the pilot could not determine its origin or what it was exactly. Running low on fuel, the pilot had to report the sighting to air traffic control, only for the debris to vanish mysteriously. This incident, characterized by its unexplained nature and the way it seemed to hover without support, sparked thoughts of extraterrestrial technology. Jellyfish-shaped object in the sky. It might sound unbelievable, but this is the best way to describe what was seen. An early riser out for a walk spotted something in the sky over Oxborough, United Kingdom, in November 2020 that looked just like a jellyfish. By the afternoon, it had completely disappeared. At first, some thought it was a kite, but it turned out to be much larger than it first seemed. Driven by curiosity, the person who saw it took a video and posted it online. To this day, no one has been able to explain what it was. Frightening cloud, resembling a face. This incident could remind you of a scene from the 1999 movie The Mummy, involving Imhotep's sandstorm, leading some to wonder if it wasn't just a coincidence. In Slovakia, in January 2012, a person's home was the site of a bizarre event when a cloud shaped like a terrifying face appeared in the sky, accompanied by odd sounds coming from the clouds. This event scared some neighbors so much that they drove away in fear, especially because many thought 2012 was supposed to be a significant year. Unidentified aerial object, resembling a sci-fi device. This sighting might remind you of the terraforming world engine from the Superman, the Man of Steel movie. In September 2021, a passenger on a commercial flight saw a huge, mysterious object floating in the air below them. Because it was visible even from thousands of feet above, it must have been very large and looked a lot like the fictional world engine. Its sudden disappearance and lack of widespread attention mean its true nature is still a mystery. Mysterious green cloud. The phenomenon of the sky lighting up can be explained by lightning, but a cloud staying lit up in green is puzzling. Someone in Western Australia observed a greenish cloud that seemed out of place in the night sky during a storm just before it rained. Is that odd? Seems to be an understatement. Whether it was an attempt at changing the weather, or maybe a distant UFO sighting, it wouldn't be too surprising given the frequency of UFO reports over the years. UFO in the clouds. The idea that teleportation is impossible has been challenged by a UFO sighting. In February 2016, during a storm in the US, a video captured a UFO suddenly appearing with a loud noise, just like thunder. It became visible for a few moments before vanishing in the same sudden way. Experts think the UFO might be using the thunder sound to hide, or that the noise is part of how it teleports. Do you believe the UFO simply showed up and vanished quickly, or did it use a portal for traveling to a different place? Strange lights in the sky. What could that be? Whether you see it as a fireball, a falling space rock, or a UFO's path, moving at an incredibly fast speed, each idea is surprisingly valid. When people in Florida saw this unusual range of lights at night, they were both amazed and puzzled by what it could mean. It looked as though a craft was sending out beams of light, leading some scientists to worry it might be showing off a powerful weapon. Still, nobody could determine exactly what it was, leaving room for guesses about space missions, weapon tests, or even an alien attack. Light trail and launch. The light trail and the launch, though they might appear different, are connected, similar to the event in Florida. Another sighting like this was seen in Russia's night sky on January 6, 2024. This time, two types of objects were shining light in the sky. The first looked like a missile being fired with a second stage, resembling a spacecraft launch, especially because it moved so quickly. Unidentified flying objects. It might seem like these were just meteors or small asteroid fragments entering Earth's atmosphere, except they didn't crash to the ground. Instead, they were recorded flying above Nagpur, India, where people on the street saw several objects that seemed to be on fire from entering the atmosphere. What was strange is that, instead of falling to Earth, these objects moved horizontally, leading to the conclusion that they might be UFOs. Odd cloud behavior. The clouds weren't acting strange intentionally, but rather they were reflecting the consequences of human interaction with nature. A driver saw a large group of clouds forming a perfect square, likely a result of weather modification techniques like chemtrails and cloud seeding aimed at creating clouds artificially. While such attempts at controlling weather can have benefits, they can also have unintended negative impacts on the weather and environment. The large Ogopogo of Canada. On a bright July day in 2020 at Okanagan Lake, a family was relaxing when an unusual sight caught their attention. The father, filming the moment, recorded a large, long creature moving smoothly in the water, causing big waves. Surprisingly, the family didn't seem to notice it. He called it the Ogopogo sea monster, a legendary creature rumored to inhabit the area. This encounter, witnessed solely by the cameraman, added to the mystery surrounding the Ogopogo, sparking further speculation about its presence in Okanagan Lake's waters. Floating Sky City. In 2015, someone in China filmed what looked like an incredible city floating in the sky, leading to discussions about whether it was evidence of a parallel universe or just an elaborate hoax. However, experts explained it as a fata morgana, a kind of mirage that happens under certain atmospheric conditions that bend light. This illusion is created when the sun warms up one layer of the atmosphere, but the layer below it stays cool, causing light to bend as it passes through layers of different temperatures and densities. This bending of light makes us think we're seeing objects higher in the sky than they actually are. The video made people think hard about how atmospheric conditions can trick our eyes. Sky portal. Since it's not possible for there to be an actual rip in the sky, the only remaining explanation for this phenomenon is that it might be a portal. A video posted on Facebook in January 2017 showed what looked like a portal opening up in the sky among the clouds. This unusual sight seemed to be the result of some kind of magnetic disturbance high in the atmosphere. While the sight of this anomaly in the sky might have looked alarming, suggesting an alien invasion to many onlookers, nothing actually emerged from or entered the portal. Disco cloud. This phenomenon involved seeing lights change colors in the sky, where passing light through such dense clouds would normally be impossible unless the light originated from within. Shortly after the New Year's celebrations in 2019, people walking in California observed various colors of light coming from the bottom of a cloud reaching upwards. Initially, it was thought that these lights were shining from the ground up into the cloud, but the movement of the cloud indicated otherwise. The source of the lights could have been a helicopter equipped with various lights, or possibly a kite carrying a lit bulb. As the curtain falls on cosmic enigmas, the night brings forth its own troop of specters and shadows, embarking on a hunt where every whisper and chill holds a story untold. Chapter 7. Ghosts, Ghouls, and Mystery Hunts. Looming shadow. Figure, encountering a shadow that seems darker than the night sky itself can send chills down anyone's spine, suggesting an ominous presence. This was exactly what a man driving on a secluded off-road path experienced. He came across a shadowy figure that resembled a human floating through the air. As this eerie shadow drew nearer, the video he was recording unexpectedly cut off when his phone, which had been fully charged, suddenly turned off on its own. This strange encounter, far from being dismissed as a simple trick, has sparked curiosity and debate regarding the shadow's origins and intentions. The man was left with a deep sense of confusion and unease, pondering the nature of the mysterious figure that appeared during his adventure in a remote area. Glowing trail in the sky. "I've never witnessed anything like this before, Dad. Look over there." These were the words of a family camping in the vicinity of Royston, Herefordshire, who found themselves face to face with an enigmatic object soaring through the sky. This unidentified object left a luminous trail behind it as it maneuvered in ways that defied the expectations of the observers, causing a mixture of astonishment and alarm before it disappeared from view. Can you believe what we're seeing? Those who saw it were convinced they had spotted a UFO, though there were skeptics among them who speculated that it could have been a stunt plane performing intricate maneuvers. This event sparked a lively discussion among those who witnessed it, leaving them to ponder whether they had seen a visitor from another world or simply an aircraft engaged in an elaborate display. The enigmatic cloud of the Devil's Eye. On the morning of January 19th, the sky over Turkey's western Bursa province presented a sight that was both captivating and unsettling. A strange cloud formation took shape at dawn, displaying a vast opening in its center that strikingly resembled the eye of a devil. This phenomenon lasted for approximately an hour, changing hues from red to pink, then orange, and finally to white, as it was illuminated by the sun's rays. The sight bewildered those who saw it and posed a puzzle even to experts. While meteorologists offered scientific explanations for the cloud's appearance, a portion of the online community and locals speculated that it might be an omen signaling the approach of a natural calamity. This unusual cloud formation has continued to intrigue both scientists and the general populace, leaving them in a state of wonder and speculation. Journey across the sun. What in the world? Oh my God, it's gone! It might sound absolutely crazy or even foolish, but there's footage that seems to show a bird flying from one side of the sun to the other, as if it went right through the middle of the fiery sphere. During a sunset, an astronomer who was setting up his telescope for some observations caught an incredible moment on camera. He saw a bird that appeared to dive straight into the sun and then emerge from the other side, completely unharmed. This raises the question, could such a thing really happen? Or is this another one of those miraculous sightings that defy explanation? Widespread curiosity. Captured on September 2, 2018, over an iconic historical site in New Delhi, India, a photo and video have sparked immense intrigue online. They seem to depict an angelic figure or a man with wings flying in the sky. Witnesses on the scene described seeing a figure that resembled a tall humanoid with wings and eyes that glowed a deep red. This figure was seen moving mysteriously around a large tower, hovering and darting back and forth in the air. The footage quickly became a sensation on the internet, garnering millions of views and leaving viewers around the globe in awe. Yet, the true nature of this winged entity remains a topic of speculation and wonder. Imagining encountering a figure straight out of fairy tales or horror stories during a leisurely outing is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. What are your thoughts on these bewildering sightings in the sky? Hit the like button, subscribe for more explorations into the unknown, and share your insights below. How do these aerial anomalies alter your perception of the world above us? What mysteries do you believe the sky still holds, veiled in its vastness?